Bride, you're back.
Of course I am. You can't keep me away. Not even BR can come between me and this island.
We don't know what we'd have done without you. It's been hell since you left.
Well, it's a good job I came back, isn't it, Rook, my dear?
We've missed you so much, Bride.
Oh, Rook, you need to...
Grow up, you pathetic waste of metal.
Bride. There had been a sombre atmosphere ever since Bride had left for Swindon. 1954 slowly let up into 1955, and the summer soon arrived. Things at Stomouth's shed were a very sad state of affairs. The branch line engines were still feeling the effects of Bride's departure, some more than others. Meanwhile, Stan and Max had settled in well at Retford Junction, and along with Hercules and Hardwick, they'd carved quite a reputation for the shed. Hercules, Max and Hardwick provided a dependable, profitable goods service for the island, and had even expanded to taking trains from Alfriston, with the help of the ineffable Windsor. Stan's tenure on the Stovall Flyer services had seen them jump to new heights of speed and efficiency. His love of the island and the Stovall Valley Railway had really shown through. A further addition to the shed's roster was Wyvern. The Dexby Hunter was left behind after the last ballast delivery, and he wasn't exactly pleased with his colleagues for their forgetfulness.
Those bastards! They left me behind.
Huh.
After some talks with Mr. Dexby,
You fucking idiots.
we had agreed to allow Wyvern to stay and shunt at Retford to free up pilots to remain at Alfriston permanently, where the workload had also increased. The elderly engine's antics had gained him a good reputation with his shed mates, and his stories from the old days greatly amused everyone he could tell them to.
I remember when I did the track upgrades here.
I hate you.
One of his favourite pastimes was shouting obscenities at the Midland locos, and had taken great enjoyment out of calling Seaforth smoke deflectors flaps.
Oi, you! Go back to Manchester.
Although the rift between the Midland engines was continuing to grow, the rift between Retford and Stomouth sheds, despite Stan's efforts to the contrary, was getting even worse.
I don't know why you're even bothering on being on good terms with Captain Flapface and his moronic duo.
I'm doing it more for Frank than Seaforth and Falkland. Frank deserves so much better.
Screw Frank. He had his chance. You can't do any more than that.
That may be, Wyvern, but I keep thinking about what Bride said to me, the evening I helped her. Yes, but that assumes they've had their smokebox doors fitted properly. Look, I'd feel bad if I didn't make an effort. For Bride's memory's sake. Look how the branch line engines have got on since you went. You can tell, it's hit them hard.
It was always going to, Stan. She was the island's wise old sage. Even in the limited time that I knew her, she gained my respect and admiration.
And we can do her memory proud by continuing on as normal. What is normal though, mate? I can't be the leader she was.
No one could replace her. She knew exactly what to do at exactly the right time.
Exactly, Max. I feel like I've taken on a lot more than just the Stavel flyer.
It's going to take time for things to adjust, Daniel.
My name isn't Staniel.
And I remember when rumours first came through that we were being replaced. The first to go was an engine called Sharp. He wasn't even a Dexby engine, but he'd like to think he kept us in order. Perhaps he did, because when he left for Alfredshaven, things began to take a downturn. In swam the Bride, this elegant and powerful engine, full of confidence. She instilled something in us that made our last few years on this island the best we'd ever seen.
But I'm not and never will be Bride. I'm not that kind of engine. I wish I was, but...
Bollocks, Stan. You're definitely that kind of engine and more. You're a leader, a born leader. You may not see it, but look at me. I'm an example. You took me in, never gave up on me. I could see Bride was very proud of you that day. I reckon she knew what was coming, deep in her frames. She knew she didn't have long left, and she was looking out for her replacement.
Well, she was wrong then, wasn't she? I'm not and I won't ever be that engine. I don't know how to fix this situation. It's been 9 months since she left, and nothing has changed since the first day. Only that the branch line engines have dived deeper into whatever rut they're all in mentally. Rook especially. I'm failing those guys. I'm failing Bride's memory. Stan, whatever you're thinking in your smoke box, it's wrong. You're doing fine. What I say is please stop focusing on the engines that don't want your help, and focus on the engines that do need your help. Frank is a lost cause, for now. Leave him and be with the lads that need you the most. Now, I've got my goods train to take to Redwick. Buck and I are meeting up tonight, and I need some time to travel to Didcot. I'm giving him some support. He's going through a rough time. You got any tips? Look, just be there. You've got this. Now, I've got to go. Catch you tomorrow. See ya, Hardwick.
Bye, mate.
Purple fish!
Hardwick left the shed and collected his train. Oh, god damn it! Wyvern! What the hell is this ballast train doing? Wyvern laughed at his little practical joke and soon went back to work when Shaw arrived with the first set of wagons for the overnight goods train. Shaw looked at Stan and Max and attempted to make a quick getaway, but Stan called him over. Shaw, can you come here? Shaw begrudgingly made his way over to the shed. Hello, Stan. What do you want? Oh, I just wanted to know how you were doing. You know. Same as usual, no complaints from me. You know me. Look, I know that's not true, Shaw. Do you? How would you know, huh? Not like you make the effort to come down to Stonewest to see the rest of us. Whoa, Shaw, chill. Please, I'm being genuine. I care deeply about this railway. You have a funny way of showing it. I always come back to the sheds at Stonewest after my Stovall flyer runs, every night. And still, nothing has changed, has it? Rook is more depressed than ever. I shunt my own trains together and Ben does whatever he can between trains. When are you going to help Rook, huh? You know I've tried with him. He's sad. As are you, I might add. I am not sad, Stan. I'm the only one holding Stonewest shed together, and, you know, that just makes me angry. Do better, Stan. Shaw barked away from the shed, leaving Stan and Max in pure shock.
Would you like me to do a lot of doon on him, Stan? He wouldn't feel a thing.
Fuck off, Wyvern, not helpful.
Your loss.
And you said you liked this railway. Holy Jesus, that was something.
I do like this railway, Max, but I'm going to need a miracle to turn this round.
I'm just saying, a little light murder will go a long way.
Fuck off, Wyvern. Shaw had been right about Rook. Since Bride's departure, the once outgoing pannier had spent more and more time in the shed, or sat in the sidings overlooking the bay. For hours on end he would sit in silence. I tried to reason with him as best I could, but his resolve was smashed. A few days later it was briefing time at Stowmouth, and I arrived. As usual, Rod, Shaw, Ben and Oliver stood waiting at the shed doors, ready for work. Rook was right at the back of the shed, facing the wall. "Good morning, engines." "Morning, sir. One day soon this rain might stop and I can travel about the island without being soaked through." There was silence. "Oh, come on, not even one joke about how I was already a wet wipe? This isn't exactly the time for joking though, is it, sir? Sure, this is the perfect time to joke." "Have some respect, sir. Rook is mourning, as are we all." All right. Keep your steam pipes on. I was only here to let you know that, although the rain may tell you otherwise, the summer traffic is right around the corner, and Samarinian lines are running some of their cruise ships from Stowmouth Harbour again." "Oh good, more work. That's the idea, sure. Does this mean our trains will be longer again this year?" "Yes, I've arranged for more coaches to be brought to the island to help bolster our current setup. For now, just continue what you do best." One thing, sir." "What would that be, Rod?" "None of us other than Ben and Rook can go down to the dock station." "How is that a problem?" "Sir." "Good point, shutting up. So, yeah, unless Ben here helps out, then we're screwed. What about Wyvern?"
"I've done it before and I'll do it again."
Maybe not. "I could make an attempt, sir. I'm powerful enough to help out. Either that or I speak to pilot." No, that won't be necessary. I have an idea. There's a small consignment of metal and other such things coming in by boat at the old pier today. I need them delivered to Castle Stavel later. Do you reckon you could attempt to get Rook on the case?" "We'll give it our best shot, sir. I don't think it's wise, not in his state." "I don't care what you think right now, Shaw. I am the railways controller, and I give the orders. Why am I getting so much pushback from you recently?" I knew I'd said what everyone else was thinking, but I hadn't wanted to say to Shaw's smokebox. The other engines shuffled uncomfortably. "Do you understand what I've asked you to do?" "But, sir, do you understand?" "Yes, sir." "Good, thank you. Get on with it." I left the sheds and immediately an argument broke out. "Oh, nice going there, Shaw." "What? You think that's my fault?" "If the wheel fits, Shaw. You're not Bride, you can't resolve Rook's issues like she could. You have to stop trying." "Don't you dare speak of her." "Why? I have every right to do so, just the same as you." "Please, for the love of Dean, stop arguing." "I'm going. I've got work to do, you know. Real work, Shaw." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Get stretched." One by one the engines left the sheds until it was just Shaw left with Rook. Shaw reversed back to talk to him. "Hey Rook, how are you doing today?" There was no answer from the pannier tank. "I'm only here to tell you that Lord Stavel tried to get us to force you out of the shed again. It's okay to be sad, and you take all the time you need, okay?" Shaw left Rook and went about his duties that day. Rook stayed put. Later that day, with the rain still lashing down, Ben was waiting to depart Stowborough when Stan arrived with the flyer. "Hey Ben, is this rain ever going to stop?" "Not likely. The island is known for this. Continuous heavy rain. Could have told me that before I signed up for an extended stay." "You're one of us now. You'll have to deal with it." I'm glad you think so, Ben. Some would say I'm not." "Okay, whatever Shaw says at this moment in time can quite frankly be ignored, folded 12 times and shoved up his cylinder cocks." My finely attuned senses indicate some hostility here." "Come on, tell Uncle Stan everything." "I want a pony for Christmas." "No, not that. Tell me about Grumpy Pants McGee." "Oh yes, sure, him. Well, he's poisoning Rook's mind." "Oh, how so?" "Well, it's 9 months since she left. Yes, we're all very sad, but Rod, Ollie and I have attempted to move on and continue with our lives. Rook obviously took it the hardest, and quite understandably so. But Shaw has been feeding him lies and keeping him sad. Keeping him sad? Rook actually left the shed the other month, but Shaw had one little conversation with him, and he hasn't left the shed since. He's doing something to him. Whether he thinks he's helping out or not, it's not healthy. Oh, Ben. I want my friend back, Stan. We'll do something, Ben. Come to Retford tonight and we'll have a chat. I will do. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. Any time, Ben. Now, I'd better go. Be careful. I think Shaw is down there. Give him a wide berth. No promises. The remainder of Stan's trip to Stowmouth was uneventful. The rain continued to pour down as he arrived into the station. With no Rook to shunt his coaches, he left them in the platform and made his way to the shed to refuel and turn, ready for his run to Alfriston later. He could see Rook alone in the shed. He thought he might have a chance to speak to Rook alone, but no sooner had he fueled up and turned around than Shaw had backed into the shed in front of Rook. Shaw? Stan, up. You going to stop me talking to Rook? He needs space. Time to recover. Time? It's been 9 months, Shaw. Are you saying that his feelings aren't genuine? No, I'm... Actually, yes. You know what? Yes, I am. You're disgusting, Stan. No, you listen here. You've been poisoning his mind, twisting it, feeding him false positives. He needs space, all right. Space from you. You're keeping him sad. How dare you? I'm doing nothing of the sort. I'm the only one looking out for his well-being. I don't know if you think you're being kind or if you genuinely want to break him, but this is not healthy, Shaw. He needs to get out of that shed. He needs to heal, and moping around the shed complex isn't going to help him. I know for a fact there's a freight train for him to take up to Castle Stavel, and I'm doing that for him, in between my own jobs, unlike you, who'll just sit between trains, pretending to care. You're scared, aren't you? No, of course I'm not. We're all sad here. Have some respect, Stan. Oh, I don't think so, Shaw. From what I've heard, the other three are moving on, as they should. You, on the other hand... I don't know what you're doing, but moving on isn't it. You've finally cracked, Stan. Do yourself a favour and go back to the Midland. Leave our business to us. You're wrong, and you will let me see Rook. I'm his friend just as much as you pretend to be. You can't see him. He doesn't want to see you. You speak on his behalf again and I'll drag you down to the docks and do a wyvern on you. You aren't seeing him, and that's final. Alright, Shaw. Just you wait. When your bunker's turned, I'll get my chance. Get lost, Stan. Stan departed the sheds to take his express service to Alfriston, still seething from his conversation. He didn't hear the voice from the back of the shed. Stan? Was that Stan? Don't worry, Rook. I sent him away. He can't hurt you now. Later that evening, Hercules had some rare downtime before his overnight train to Redwick. He soon saw the shape of a small tank engine approaching, and into the sheds came Ben. Ah, young Benjamin. Long time no see. Oh, Hercules, it's a relief to see you. Why is that? Things have descended into a complete disaster. Since Bride left? Of course. Just when things were supposed to be getting better for us. Things are getting better, my dear. The railway hasn't been this profitable since before the war. All our hard work is paying off. Oh, that doesn't matter right now. We may be in the money, but everything else is a joke. Ben explained to Hercules the situation on the branch, how he, Rod, and Oliver had been attempting to get on with their lives, how the situation with Shaw and Rook was going, his conversation with Stan. Hercules sat in silence for a long time. Hercules? This is a serious issue, Benjamin. I think I'm going to need to have a word with Shaw. I told him anything he needed to speak to me about, he could always come and speak to me. He's currently on a path to self-destruction if he's not careful. That's exactly what I thought too, Hercules. Stan backed into the sheds alongside the two other engines. I've had a proper Barney with him today. When I got down to Stomouth, he flat out refused to let me anywhere near Rook. He was speaking for him, and I could see what he was doing. I saw straight through his faux concern. He's scared, isn't he? Yes, I believe he is. Understandable, and not out of character. I believe that after Bride's departure, he feels like he's next on the chopping board. I remember you guys telling me about his fear of not being useful, of going back to the South Wales coalfields. It wouldn't be too much of a stretch to believe that what he's doing to Rook is to ensure that he's always working and busy, to prove his worth. It's not working. He and Lord Stavell had a full-on row this morning. This is a mess that needs some delicate handling. We need to separate the pair. Shaw gatekeeps him like a guard dog. It'll be impossible to keep him away for long. Doesn't he bring regular loads of goods down here from Stomouth? We need a way of distracting him here whilst one or two of us are at Stomouth speaking to Rook.
Well, I do say, young wagon, do you mind awfully getting out of my way?
That'll keep Shaw busy for as long as you like. Oi, Wyvern!
What is it, Staniel? Be quick. I'm trying to get past this wagon.
Go help him, Ben, would you? On it. Ben moved the wagon out of Wyvern's way, and the two tank engines returned to the shed. Now, Wyvern.
Yes?
You know Shaw?
Sure, maybe. Have I threatened him before?
No, well, not to his smoke box anyway.
Would you like me to threaten him?
No.
Boring.
We need you to distract him down here when he comes down tomorrow afternoon.
Well, consider it done.
This is good and all, but what about his other trains? Won't they be late? Ah, this is the brilliance of the plan. If it goes well, I'll have Rook and I double-head it up here. If not, I'll do it myself. There's always a risk that you could do this and the next opportunity Shaw has, he could take Rook back. That's a risk we're going to have to take. Remember, we're not doing this because we hate Shaw. We're doing this because we care about him. And Rook. And we need them to be better.
Look, if you need Rook to be better, let me speak to him. A hunter's touch can go a long way.
The last I heard, a hunter's touch got 30 people killed.
So factual and so hurtful.
So, are we agreed?
What? Who the hell are you? Get out of my shed.
Shut up, Wyvern. We'll do it tomorrow, yeah? I don't think I can stand any more of this brainwashing. Yeah, tomorrow it is. With their plan agreed, the engines went their separate ways. Hercules collected his train for Redwick and departed whilst Ben trundled back to Stomouth. Stan hunkered down for the night, thinking over what he had to do tomorrow. The next day, Ben pretended to be asleep until he was sure it was just him and Rook left in the shed. He reversed back next to Rook. Hey Rook, I've got some good news for you. Stan's coming to visit you today. There was no reply, but Ben could see Rook had lifted slightly. We're going to help you through this, Rook. You're our friend, and we care about you deeply. Oi, get away from him! We'll get you away from Shaw too, Rook. I said get away from him! Can't you see you're upsetting him? Oh, I'm sorry, Shaw. How can I make it up to you? Shall I take some of your trains? That will not be necessary, thanks. I'll take some of Rook's duties off you then. Again, not necessary. Yes, of course it isn't. Thank you, Shaw. This has been a most enlightening chat. What? I didn't say anything. Didn't you? Ben sidled away, smirking to himself as Shaw watched on, bewildered at what Ben was on about. He soon came to his senses and left to begin shunting at the docks. Don't worry, Rook, you're safe here. Shaw shunted around the docks, collecting the full wagons for his first train to the junction. He muttered to himself, catching the attention of many of the dock workers before he finally set off for Retford. In the rain, the valley was weirdly pretty. He passed Ben at Stomouth, who just smirked at him again. He was then held at the bottom of the Castelstavel incline for Stan to pass with the flyer. "Afternoon, Shaw. Rain again, eh?" Shaw was puzzled at this sudden nicety from Stan, considering his previous conversation with the Black Five. As he barked up the hill towards Castelstavel, something clicked in his smoke box. Ben smirking, Stan being weirdly kind. It must mean they were up to something. With a huge panic, he blasted harder up the hill and recklessly sped downhill from Castelstavel towards Retford. He careened into the station where Oliver was waiting to depart. "Bloody hell, Shaw, calm down." Shaw ignored the prairie, dropped his wagons in the yard, and was just waiting for the signal to head back up the line when a voice rang out from the shed.
"Hey, Shaw, can you come and help an old man out? I'm stuck here, and the turntable seems to be a bit broken."
With a huge sigh, Shaw made his way over to the shed and got onto the turntable, turned a bit, and stopped. "Looks fine to me."
"I think if you turn and come off it, it has some issues."
"Ugh, alright." Shaw turned and backed into a shed road. "See? Look, perfectly fine."
"No, yeah, I guess it is. See you around."
Wyvern jumped forward, turned on the turntable and departed for the yard. Shaw's protesting stopped him in his tracks. "Hey, unlock this turntable!"
"What's the password?"
"What?"
"No,
"Unlock this turntable!"
not even close."
"You have 5 seconds."
Now you're not even taking this seriously."
"I'm not taking this seriously?"
Finally, you admit it."
"Wyvern, you decrepit old fart, let me out! I need to stop Stan stealing Rook."
"Whoa, that is a bit weird there."
"Wyvern, let me out of this shed, you crazy old man!"
"I'm not crazy, you're crazy."
Well, 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 Shaw, my dear. Hercules? Presently, Stan arrived at Stomouth, where Ben was waiting in the platform. "So, Ben, you ready?" "About as ready as I'll ever be. We're here to help him, remember? We're going to get our friend back? We'll give it our best shot. Remember, baby steps." "Of course, anything's better than what Shaw is doing." "Right then, let's go." The 2 engines rolled over to the sheds, where, as usual, Rook was sitting facing the wall. "Hey buddy, Rook, it's Ben and Stan." "It's okay, Rook, we're here to help you." "Stan, it's really you?" "Yeah buddy, we're here. Shaw said you didn't want to see me." "What? Of course I wanted to see you. We've all been really worried about you. I can't believe this." "You should go, he'll be back soon." "We aren't going anywhere. We've made sure we'll be alone for enough time. We just want to be left alone." "Rook, we can't keep going on like this. You were making so much progress. What happened?" "What was the point in making progress? Bride's gone. Any of us could be next. You heard the government announcement. Modernisation plan. It's all coming. Sitting in here isn't going to do anyone any favours though. You need to be out, proving your worth. You're one of Lostavel's most loyal and hard workers. What's the point? Without Bride, the entire line has gone foobar. Everyone argues, every day. It's all I hear. Bride would know what to do. We're arguing because we can see what Shaw is doing to you, and it's wrong. But Benny's helping me, how is that wrong?" "From what I can see, Rook, he isn't helping anyone but himself. Who is doing all your work whilst you're in here, moping around all day?" "Well, Shaw is. He's really kind. I don't deserve him." "No, you really bloody don't. He's using you, Rook. He's keeping you sad, making sure you stay put whilst he takes more and more of your work." "No, that's not true. I'm depressed, Stan. He said it was okay to take as much time as I need." "You've been here in this shed for 9 months, Rook. And when you even attempted to leave this shed, just a little bit, guess who got you right back in here again? He said I wasn't ready. Oh, for God's sake, how would he know? You took a conscious decision to make a step forward in your recovery, and all he did was set you back again. How can you not see that? Well, Ben, calm it, dude. I can't, Stan, not when it's so obvious. Shaw has done a lot for me, you know. I'm sure he has, Rook. But it's time you stood up for yourself. Yes, it's very sad that Bride is gone, but we all need to move on now. I could admit, it's still difficult for me some days, and there will be good and rough days ahead, but what makes the rough days worth the pain is the good days will shine the brighter for it. The railway and the island need us. Wyvern told me something that Bride said to him and North Star on her final day. They needed to keep the island going, keep the heritage alive, and I for one will work my damn hardest to deliver her final request. What do you say? It's so hard, Stan. I know it is. Trust me. We all know your pain. But unlike you, we were all able to work with each other to pull through the pain and begin living again. You need a support group, not a parasite like Shaw. Please don't badmouth him. Of course, I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. Ben, please. So, what do you say? Should we get your crew in and get you steamed up? Rook took a little while to answer, but he agreed. Soon his crews were on site and preparing him for work. Ben had pulled him over the ash pit road. Right then, Rook. Oh, it's amazing to see you outside again, it really is. I wish you all the luck in the world. Take it steady. Thank you, Stan. It was nice to see you again. Stan smiled as he left the shed, leaving Ben and Rook to begin a nervous conversation. Stan was soon stopping at Stowborough. He saw in the distance Shaw barrelling along at full speed in the direction of Stowmouth. What have you done, Stan? Stan said nothing, but smiled as Shaw rocketed past, making Shaw even more worried. He sped into the sheds to see Ben and Rook chatting away. Rook had a good head of steam and was almost ready to take his first wheel turns under his own power. Just roll up and down a bit. Get a feel again for it, Rook. Ha! Look, Ben, I'm doing it. Look at me. What the hell? Hey, look, Shaw, I'm out of the shed. What? You can't. You're not well enough for this. If I don't try now, I won't ever want to leave the shed again, Shaw. I thought you'd be happy. What? But what? You want him to be happy, right, Shaw? Isn't that what you've always wanted for him? I suppose, yes, of course. But he's not ready, Ben. Don't worry, Shaw. I'll be alright. Stan and Ben have really helped me this afternoon. It's okay Bride is gone, as long as we all work hard to remember her and do her proud. I wasn't doing that while sitting around in the sheds for days on end, but look, I'm going to leave the shed and go do some shunting. If it doesn't feel right, I'll come straight back. Don't worry. I've got this. What? It's outrageous. It's unfair. I'm going to do this. I need to do this, Shaw. I appreciate all you've done for me, but it's time. Rook left the sheds for the docks, cautiously traversing the lines for the first time in what felt like years. When he was out of earshot, Shaw rounded on Ben. You've turned him against me. You've done that yourself. You will not take him from me. Your desperation and lust for more work has already done that. I will get him back, Ben. Mark my words, you will try. You will not forestall my judgment. Shaw blasted away, fuming at the events that had just unfolded in front of him, leaving Ben feeling happy with the afternoon's results. Back at Retford Sheds, Stan was deep in conversation with Hercules and Wyvern. I've never said an engine is a lost cause before, but sure, he truly is on a path I cannot fathom. He scared Hercules. We all know what kind of things fear can do to you. All too well, Stan. All too well. Fear in a roundabout way could lead to suffering. I feel an even greater need to keep an eye on him now, before something out of his control happens. That's easier said than done, Hercules. But I'll make every effort to keep him from doing, as you say, something out of his control.
The Wyvern method is still available, you know.
Not necessary, Wyvern. We want to help him, not drown him.
Suit yourself.
The three engines continued chatting, Stan filling Hercules in on the events at Stowmouth, and how positive a change there had been, even in the couple of hours he and Ben had spent with Rook. Rook was happily trundling around the docks at Stowmouth when I decided to give him a visit. Rook! Hello, my word, it's nice to see you out and about. Hello, sir. I've made it out and everything here is shunted as on the timetable. My, you've been busy. Just getting back into my stride again, sir. How'd you fancy a little trip? A trip? Well, a couple of days ago I had some things delivered here by boat that need taking to Castle Stavel. Yeah, that's up in the siding right now. Sure, might take it later. No. How about we take it? We, sir? Yes, I need a lift back to Castle Stavel, so how about a ride in your cab? For moral support. I suppose that could work. Excellent. Let's get up to the yard and go, shall we? I climbed aboard Rook and we set off for the yard. He was soon coupled up and ready to go. I'm not sure I can do this, sir. Of course you can. I'm right here. Would it help if I told you some stories about myself and Bride, to while away the time? If you wouldn't mind, I'd be interested to hear them. Right. Very well. It was 1919 and she'd just returned from her big overhaul. We set off towards Castle Stavel as I began telling my story. This seemed to calm Rook down enough, and he asked questions, cried a little at some of what I said, but most importantly, he laughed. As we climbed the hill towards Sparsholt, the rain stopped. Maybe, like Rook's mood, the weather was on the turn.